Point, California. Notre Dame is in the white. Fairleigh Dickinson is in the blue. And the only opening tap. Defending champs out of the Northeast Conference, the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson. And that just spins out on the attempt from Bishop. Second chance inside, and that's blocked. Jawan Durham with the block. Knocked around underneath the basket. Shot clock down to 2 for Bishop. Long rebound comes to the Irish. .33 is Mooney trying to post up low. Send it back out to Hub. Shot clock is down to 7 for Hub on the baseline. Tried to hit it cutting Durham. It was knocked away.
Early on, neither team being able to find a rhythm.
Malone Key misfires. Relatively good shooting Fairleigh Dickinson team. 48% for the season. But the first points of the game belong to the Irish. And it's T.J. Gibbs.
Nice three-pointer by T.J. Gibbs. And we talked earlier, Mike Bray, he thought that his team had been shooting the ball exceptionally well, but he thought it was just a matter of time. Good sign for the Irish.
Early in the season, Gibbs is averaging just over 12 points per game, gets the first bucket, and Mooney gets the rebound. How about John Mooney? Back-to-back games with 60 or more boards, and that one goes for 3.
Okay, TJ. I think he called glass on that one. Mike Bray talked about is that he wants to push tempo. He says he's not going to limit his guys. He wants them to play really good defense.
So Gibbs shooting 37% from beyond the arc on the season, which has been pushed back slightly this year to the international distance of 22 feet 1 3/4 inches from 20 feet 9 inches away a season ago. This is Pfluger. Thrilling win on Thursday on their home floor for the Irish last Thursday against Toledo. 64-62 in overtime. Head coach of the Irish, 20th season for Mike Bray. 422 career wins as the Irish head coach. Most wins in school history. He's got over 500 career victories. Mooney got his defender in the air.
That's one of the things when Mike Bray said that John Mooney has improved his game. Normally a guy that can stretch the defense. Saw a nice little up and under. One of the things, if he can put the ball on the floor and take his bigs, that makes it even that much more of a heartache.
Almost 15 points per game for Mooney this season. 13 boards. Best in the conference early on for the senior from Orlando, Florida, and one of the captains of this Irish team. Pfluger pulls it down. Stumbles and got fouled in the process. Greg Herenda is the 7th-year head coach for Fairleigh Dickinson. 21 victories last season. They went 12-6 in conference play. They won 9 of their last 10 and steamrolled their way to a Northeast Conference tourney championship and won the first game in school history of the NCAA tournament in the first 4 against Prairie View before losing to Gonzaga in the first round. This is Mooney. Angular rebound. Pulled in by Durham. And missed from 3. Straight away. Hub. The Knights still trying to get on the board. Almost 4 minutes gone here in the first half. They are 0 for 7 from the floor. Another miss as Bishop.
Notre Dame doing a good job of being able to limit Fairleigh Dickinson just to 1. But how about John Mooney raking up their early rebounds?
Three boards for Mooney and 3 for Pfluger early on in this first half. This is Mooney. Pfluger for 3.
He's got it. Tom, we highlighted earlier John Mooney, but how about Rex Pfluger? I think that he's the guy that means so much to this ball club. We talked earlier, Mike Bray, ecstatic about what he does.
Missed the last 23 games of the season with a knee injury. Mooney's got the rebound. Three of 4 for the Irish from long distance, and that's high percentage inside for Jawan Durham.
Nice penetration by Pfluger. Off to a real good start. Notre Dame off to a big start, and how about a little bit of up and down? We talked about this as a veteran group. They've got a lot of guys that can come off the bench and provide points. Right now, Notre Dame's doing a good job of shooting the ball off to a scorching 71%.
Fairleigh Dickinson hasn't turned it over, Brian, but they're 0 for 9 from the floor, and they've missed all 3 of their 3-point chances. Trying to work it inside against Mooney. Second chance in a congested area for Williams. So Bishop was able to grab it, but now down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Shot clock at 5. Bishop stripped away. Taken back, TJ Gibbs. Mooney filling the lane, gliding in. Didn't have the angle, balled it up on the rim and almost dropped. Elijah Williams came away with it for the Knights. Fairleigh Dickinson 1 and 4 on the season. Their most recent game was Sunday at Lafayette. And they lost 80-75, despite the fact that they shot 52% in that game.
And one of the things we failed to mention is that starting point guard Jaleel Jenkins is out, or not out, not starting today. They definitely miss his playmaking skills.
Williams' shot was online, but strong, and Mooney pulls it in. Gibbs, catch and release. 13-0 Irish. Twisting drive. And Pfluger was defending on the drive by Malone Key. So first on Pfluger. And the Knights with their chance to get their first points of the night from the free throw line, where they are 71% as a team. Here's what you need to know about tonight's game with the Honda startup. John Mooney, the double-doubles. Just the second meeting between the teams. They played in 2014 as well. And Notre Dame tries to play without fouling. Brian made that point in the open, top of the broadcast. We heard Coach Bray in the shoot-around today constantly saying that to his players.
Well, it was interesting. He said he thought that this was probably his best defensive team that he's had. And that's saying a lot for all the teams that he's had in the past. But right now, doing a good job of holding opponents to only 60 points a game.
Dane Goodwin has come into the game for the Irish. He wears number 23. Also Carmody, number 24. And Leszewski, number 14. He hit that shot at the end of regulation against Toledo to send it into overtime. That'll be a kick against Baker. And remain with the Irish. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 13:27 on the game clock in the first half.
You see Fairleigh Dickinson changing up their looks. They're going to go to some zone.
Turn around from Mooney.
Best way to attack the zone is get it right into the middle. We talked about John Mooney, his ability to be able to knock shots.
Mooney's 2 for 4. He's got 4 points. Gibbs is the leading scorer so far for the Irish with a couple of 3-pointers and 6 points. Tipped up, Mooney with a rebound off of the miss. Malone Key unable to get a field goal for Fairleigh Dickinson, still looking for their first made field goal. Swing it out to Gibbs against 2 defenders. Open man, Leszewski in the corner, and it's a 3-ball.
Good ball movement, being able to get the ball inside out. One of the things that you want for Notre Dame is move that basketball. Right now, Notre Dame doing a great job of being able to knock down them open shots.
Brian, they are 4 of 6 from 3-point distance in this first half against the Knights. 29% as a team from beyond the arc coming into the evening for the Irish. Battle on the weak side, as is normally done. Mooney pulls it in. 6 boards for Mooney. Trying to get position inside, and he does so successfully.
That is just too much John Mooney. We talked about his ability to be able to face up, putting the ball on the floor. You have to honor that shot because when he gets out of that post, you have to know that he's going to shoot that. Last time being able to penetrate and use a little muscle for the finish.
6 points and 7 rebounds from Mooney. Defending Williams with the block. Up ahead and knocked out of bounds by Baker.
John Mooney being able to get the ball inside. You have to see Mouse in the house to shoot from the top of the key and have it wedge in there, because if he misses it, then automatically they take a nail on the game.
Now, wait a minute. You're the guy who went to Georgia Tech. You should be able to figure that out. Get out the protractor, the T-square, the calculator. Come on.
I'm going to say the probability of that is like maybe 0.592%.
I'll go with that.
Law of averages in favor of Notre Dame.
Yeah, it worked in their favor. They got possession. It was Luger on the inbounds pass. Found Leshevsky, who has really struggled from 3. That's the ironic part of it. He's only made 4 threes on the season coming in. He's already hit one tonight, though.
One of the things we talked about earlier with the Notre Dame coaching staff is that they have struggled from behind the arc, but tonight they have come out and they have been sizzling from behind the 3-point line.
Notre Dame, despite the turnover on that last possession, 4 of 6 on 3-point shots. They were just 29% to start the night against Fairleigh Dickinson. Which, by the way, Brian, is 0 for 16 from the floor and 0 for 5 from beyond the arc.
Well, Notre Dame is doing a really good job of being able to hedge on the pick and roll, but Fairleigh Dickinson has not been able to finish around the rim. Being challenged by Notre Dame. Notre Dame doing a good job of being able to limit to 1 shot.
And the Knights have missed several layups so far, and you can see Coach Arenda in the background pacing that sideline. Carmody was driving. Baker ended up on the floor, and the foul is against the Knights.
Carmody is a hard-nosed player. Like Bray was talking about how much they like him, the fact that this is a guy that will lock you up on defense and not afraid of initiating the contact.
8 of 12 from the free throw line for the sophomore from Mars, Pennsylvania. Substitutions for Fairleigh Dickinson. And that includes Malone Key getting back in the lineup. Baker goes out. And Carmody's 1 for 2 from the line. Carmody played just 5 minutes. Injured his shoulder, but good to see him getting some activity in this first half of the game tonight against Fairleigh Dickinson. After having surgery on the left shoulder about a year ago for Carmody. 21-2. Williams foul against the Irish, and Dane Goodwin, number 23, his first.
You talked about the injuries to last year, and that's one of the things too about this Notre Dame group is that they had a lot of injuries last year that kind of crippled them, but one of the positives is that it forced a lot of young guys into play. Definitely showing out early as far as the depth on this bench.
Elijah Williams, the Illinois native from Evanston, and a junior, 6'7" and 220 at the free throw line, went for 12 points and 4 boards in the loss on Sunday at Lafayette. He was the top shooter in the Northeast Conference last year at 60% to lead the way.
And Greg Arenda is high on this bunch. They had a lot of parts and pieces. Again, we've yet to be able to see Khalil Jenkins in, but this is a team that uses this non-conference to help them for conference play. Notre Dame has done a good job of not allowing them to get into the offense.
That one just bounces out on the shot by Goodwin. Despite those injuries you mentioned a season ago, Brian, Notre Dame did get a victory at the ACC tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina last year against Georgia Tech, sorry to say. But they did lose to Louisville in the second round. And there's the first driving field goal by Rush. Goodwin hits the floor hard after the foul by Elijah Williams. So the first field goal of the game for the Knights at one end, and free throws coming up for the Irish at the other end.
Notre Dame's going to do a good job. You see that after the Fairleigh Dickinson score, you see Goodwin go in, landing hard. It's one of those guys for Mike Bray that plays really hard.
So they're going to review that previous play. Our officials tonight: Roger Ayers, Tim Clockerty there at the table, Jeremy Mosier also. Is this of a flagrant nature?
Looks like it was a play on the ball.
There's a couple of defenders there as Goodwin was driving. It's Ayers and Clockerty reviewing the tape. Seventh-year head coach Greg Horrenda was also the head coach in 2014 when the teams played here at Purcell Pavilion. Notre Dame winning 75-57. Fairleigh Dickinson has never beaten a team out of the ACC. And it will be a steep uphill climb. 21-6 in the first half. Officials still taking a look at that previous play. It was Elijah Williams going up to try to knock the ball away from Dane Goodwin.
You see, the initial was the block. Then I think that with the offhand, he may have gotten. I think that they're trying to assess the play on the ball and whether it's a common foul or not.
And Daniel Rodriguez was also there. Being told it's going to be issued a flagrant 1 to Elijah Williams. With 9:57 to go in this first half. That's Roger Ayers discussing it with Greg Horrenda. So Williams, the junior from Evanston, Illinois. That means that Goodwin will be at the line by himself.
They're calling it a flagrant 1 foul. Player in a vulnerable position.
Now, Roger Ayers came over to discuss it with us. Now, the player behind Williams is Rodriguez. So Goodwin shooting the technical free throws. So the Irish get possession after the free throws. 23-6 Notre Dame midway through the first half. Tom Wormy, Brian Oliver, our outstanding ACC College Hoops production crew with you from South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame campus. Goodwin reversing direction. Shefsky couldn't handle the pass. And Carmody. Knights shot 50% from beyond the arc in their game Sunday against Lafayette, but they're having struggles beyond the arc, mid-range, and on the interior against this Irish defensive unit.
And they're having problems with the length of Notre Dame. You see Leshevsky being able to stop down low.
Jogo rims out. He's one of the new faces into the lineup for the Irish, as the foul will go against Carmody and be his first. So Gibbs in that lineup with 6 points, couple of threes to his credit the first half. And there's Pfluger as well. 0 for the Irish. Fairleigh Dickinson, 1 of 20 from the floor. And 0 for 5 from three-point range. Although Notre Dame has not hit a field goal in almost the last 3 minutes. The Irish have cooled down to 53% from the floor. Shot clock is deep, down to 5. Bishop on the move into the paint, and he came up short.
It seems like Fairleigh Dickinson being able to get inside, but not being able to finish.
This is Mooney. Backing down over 2 defenders, and the shot's off the mark for Mooney. Fairleigh Dickinson has had 9 layup chances and made just 1 until that one. So Williams carving his way to the basket. 23-8 now, the Irish in front. Still just 2 for 22 in field goals for the Knights in the first half. Go inside, too strong on the shot attempt from Durham.
Good defensive possession from Fairleigh Dickinson, being able to get the ball out of Mooney's hands.
And a 3 at the other end from Bishop.
Bishop being able to knock down the 3. Fairleigh Dickinson on the, should we call it a run?
That's the first 3 of the game. They're now 1 of 6 shooting the 3-pointer. First points for Bishop. And that was Durham trying to make his move on the inside, and the stoppage of play.
On both ends of the floor, he's put his imprint, being able to knock down shots, and on the defensive end also using his length to stop them. And one of the things about him too is that he can muscle the guys down to finish. Off to a good start, 6 points, 7 rebounds. One of the things I like about him, Tom, is the fact that he's a guy that lets the game come to him. You see those numbers that he's put up, but we established the fact that he is the man for this team this year.
Coach Bray told us at the shoot-around today, Brian, when we had a chance to chat with him, he said rebounding for Mooney is an art form. Can you further that point?
Well, yeah, you know, as a guy, when I played at Georgia Tech, I was a guard that had a knack for getting to the basketball. But you see, every time he goes up, does a great job of being able to use his length. And he goes after the ball rather than waiting for it to come to him.
How about Mooney in the games against Marshall and Howard? He went for 16 or more rebounds in each of those games. First player in the ACC with back-to-back 16 or more rebound games since Tim Duncan in the mid-90s.
When I saw that, that was unbelievable. I mean, given the fact that, you know, what Duncan has done and established, Mooney has been that guy again. So versatile. And then you talk about adding the fact that he can put the ball on the floor now.
Mooney to turn around and he gets fouled going up. Okeke, the foul on Mooney. What does it mean, Brian, to have your name in the same sentence with a guy like Tim Duncan?
Well, it shows a lot because one of the things I like about John Mooney, he's so active. A guy that doesn't eat up a lot of space. You know, he commands a lot of attention, sets a really good screen, gets the guys open, and his ability to run to the basket and finish creates a lot of opportunities for him.
42% from the line on the season for Mooney. Senior from Orlando, Florida. Played Brantley High School. 6'9", 245 pounds. 7 points and 15 rebounds in that dramatic overtime win against Toledo last Thursday on this floor at Purcell Pavilion inside the Joyce Center. Mooney did struggle from three-point distance in that game against Toledo, 0 for 4 on long-range shots.
Notre Dame back into his zone. And for Fairleigh Dickinson, you got to do the same thing, inside out. Hopefully he can get some threes to come down for him.
To maintain possession for Coach Arenda. Also the head coach at UMass Lowell, an assistant coach at Holy Cross, Seton Hall, Yale, East Carolina. A wealth of experience for the head man, Fairleigh Dickinson. He's taken them to 2 conference titles since taking over the program in his 7th season. Williams with the shot clock winding down. Trying to beat the horn, the long rebound. And it's Prentice Hub. Gibbs just inside the arc, and he spins it in.
One of the players that's benefited a lot by Rex Pfluger coming back is TJ Gibbs, because last year I thought that playing with a younger group, he had to do a lot more on the defensive end. Now with Pfluger back and with Prentice Hub, allows him to focus a lot more on his offense and not be the guy on defense.
8 points for Gibbs, and that leads all scorers so far in our first half, as we are about to cross the 6-minute threshold. Turnaround from Okeke.
Nice jump hook by Okeke. I think Fairleigh Dickinson has to do a better job of trying to get the ball inside, create some offense.
He's already exceeded his season average in scoring, which is at 0.5 for Oscar Okeke, the junior from Nigeria. Pfluger, a little bit of a follow away, and the follow jam comes from Durham.
Durham with that length and athleticism, cleanup. One of the things that they look for him this year. Staying healthy, block shots, finishing around the rim.
You're right. Against Presbyterian, Mooney couldn't play because of an illness. And Durham stepped in with 11 points, 15 boards, and 4 block shots to get the win against Presbyterian for Notre Dame, part of this 5-game winning streak.
Well, and Mooney takes up so much attention. Durham's going to be able to get a lot of cleanup, being at the right place right around the rim.
Gibbs, quick step away. Lightning quick move, just couldn't hit the shot. Malone Key dribbling through some traffic with 4:50 on the clock. The missed 3 from Baker at the other end, beating everyone down the floor. It's Prentice Hub.
Bad shot on one end turns into an easy one for Prentice Hub. Good outlet pass.
Williams was cut off by the Hub defending. Mooney did the same on the baseline. And on the shot clock, out of the corner. Three-pointer is all net. And the follow-through from Malone Key.
Malone Key is one of those guys that they're happy to get back. Probably the best offensive player. Let's just see if he can get going. Seems like Notre Dame's going to pull away.
Durham got doubled underneath, and he ran into Okeke. So Durham will have some free throws.
A lot of times you got to put a big body on the big. Durham coming back with a nice put-up.
On the Notre Dame campus. And he was the coach when they were last year in 2014. When the Irish won the only other meeting between the programs. That our Toyota tweet of the week from Greg Herenda. I've known Greg Herenda since 1991. As a young broadcaster, he was on George Blaney's staff as an assistant at Holy Cross College. My first experience play-by-play was calling Holy Cross in the Patriot League.
Did you just date yourself, Tom?
I'm sorry, Brian?
Did you just date yourself?
Maybe. The troubles continue. Okeke can put it back up on the rim. Fairleigh Dickinson continues to struggle from the floor. Out of the corner. Prentice up for 3.
Nice pass over to TJ Gibbs, Prentice Hubs, and how about the Irish finding their way behind the arc. Again,
5 of 8, Brian. 5 points now for Hub, and that'll drop for the Knights. Brandon Rush with the basket. 3 out of the corner goes. Dane Goodwin's got a 3.
Remember we were talking with Mike Bray earlier. He talked about their struggles from behind the arc, but he didn't seem too concerned about that. Said that he was more interested in how his team was defending. Felt like it was going to be a matter of time before they started because they were getting good looks. Right now, Irish doing a good job of being able to knock them down from behind the arc.
54% in total shooting. That was Brandon Rush making his way, bouncing to the basket. That was a long distance 3-point attempt there from TJ Gibbs. Now Rush is open. That's a 3. Starting to heat up a little bit, number 2.
Brandon Rush with 7 quick points for Fairleigh Dickinson. 2 to the basket, and a lot of times just get started.
Time out on the floor. Rush has 9 points. 4 of 5 from the floor, and that 1 3-pointer on his only chance from beyond the arc. With 2:20 to go in the half, 37-23.
You see Rush feeling being able to get going to the basket. And a lot of times when you get rolling, until right now he's feeling it. Nice little shot in the arm for Greg Herenda's bunch.
Came into the game 33% from beyond the arc as a team. Rush had 13 points, a season high in that game on Sunday at Lafayette. But a loss.
Greg Herenda's really high on him. He talked earlier about he's a guy that can get his own shot, obviously. Got nice bounce, not afraid of the moment.
42% on the season from the floor for Rush, 8.4 points per game. since the struggles early when they trailed 13-0, 0 of 18 from the floor. Much better percentage since.
But if you're Fairleigh Dickinson, get a few stops. You got a little over 2 minutes left to go. You want to chip into this lead. If you can go into the half under 10.
Hub misses from the corner. Leszewski, offensive glass. It'll drop, but he's got a chance at a three-point play.
Hey, Leszewski, that's one of the things that they want more from him. Normally at 6'10", a guy that can shoot the ball from outside. Doing a much better job of going to the rim. That rebound and then absorb the contact for the and one.
Leszewski, one of 8 different players to score for the Irish in the first half. 10 of 13 from the free throw line this season for Leszewski. Cannot finish off the old school three-point play. Again, Notre Dame scored the first 13 points of the game and also led 21-2 in this first half. Right now the lead 16. It's going to stay that way, but not for the moment. It will change on the offensive glass. Datica.
Fairleigh Dickinson doing a better job of being able to attack the rim.
Redshirt freshman Datica gets into the box score. Now a turnover. Rush up ahead and the layup from Rodriguez.
Brandon Rush has been a pleasant shot in the arm. Nice dish for the finish. Fairleigh Dickinson doing a good job of being able to capitalize and get out in transition.
1:15 to go in the first half. Mooney trying to regather. Rodriguez knocked that one out of bounds. It'll stay at this end of the floor with 13 seconds on the shot clock for the Irish. 52% from the floor in the first half for Notre Dame. And a 39-27 lead. Leszewski tees up a three. Malone key the board. Harmony defending on Williams. The kick out. Datica.
Well, Fairleigh Dickinson, Tom Wormy, being able to get the stops on one end and found some offense. Talked about their ability to be able to knock down some shots that lead under 10.
It's going back up. Thanks to Goodwin for three.
Nice penetration by Hub, being able to find Goodwin. Fairleigh Dickinson, you've been able to get to the basket on your offense.
Less than 2 seconds on the differential between game and shot clock. And Notre Dame up by 12. Shot clock to 5 for the Knights and Williams. Gave up the three chance. Datica tough shot. In fact, he did not get it off before the shot clock elapses, and it's a violation against the Knights.
Notre Dame going into a zone. I think it threw Fairleigh Dickinson off. They were prepared for a man. Good matchup zone by the Irish.
Notre Dame leading by as many as 19 in this first half. And just 1.6 on the clock. Pfluger on the inbounds. 42-30 after the first half. Just the second all-time meeting between the Irish and the Knights. Notre Dame shoots 52%, connects on 7 threes. Happy Thanksgiving from Notre Dame with the Irish up 12. The game against Presbyterian with an illness, but back to full capacity to take on the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson. Just the second all-time meeting between the schools.
Two things that stick out for me in the first 5 minutes, Tom, is that Fairleigh Dickinson was able to find some offense at the end of the first half. Can they continue that into the second half? And then Notre Dame, will that hot shooting behind the arc continue?
Fairleigh Dickinson leading in points in the paint, 14-12 against the Irish in that first half. And that's in addition to the fact they missed many close-in layups in that first half of action. And they'll start with a three from the wing. Bishop with a three-pointer.
Well, that's one of the things that Fairleigh Dickinson wanted to do in the first half, is be able to break down the man and kick it out. finding a little bit more offense, and I think that maybe they shook off the jitters early, realizing that they're back in this ball game.
And now 2 for 5 from beyond the arc for Bishop. They'll swing it into the corner, and Notre Dame responds with a 3 of its own from T.J. Gibbs.
What was it that we heard the Notre Dame coaching staff talk about Rex Pfluger's, that he makes winning plays? You see great vision, be able to get that shot over to T.J. Gibbs. And you see great penetration, and you see Bishop outside. That's one of the things that we highlight, is his ability to be able to stretch the floor. Fairleigh Dickinson coming out, and I think that if you go in and you look at what they were able to accomplish, Greg Herenda has got to be happy from where they started and how they finished off that first half.
Although Bishop just 2 of 13 from 4 Irish. Opening moments of the second half. So glad that you're with us for ACC College Hoops. Tom Wormy along with Brian Oliver. Durham had it knocked away. And a foul committed by Gibbs.
Intentional foul call on number 10, TJ Gibbs. Intentional foul, 15 seconds.
You see TJ goes there. Called an intentional foul. How about the energy that Fairleigh Dickinson's come out in the second half?
Malone Key back to the free throw line for the Knights. And now the lead is 10. They close to 9 points late in the first half. It's going to stay at 10 here with 18:48 to go in our second half. Key 4 of 6 from the line. The previous foul was on Gibbs. Because of its intentional nature, Fairleigh Dickinson maintains possession. Struggles against Lafayette on Sunday were from the free throw line, just 11 of 19 for the Knights, as Pfluger deflects that one away and leads the break. Gibbs back to Pfluger and behind the line.
Rex Pfluger coming up with the steal and the three-pointer. Again, we talked about him making winning plays in Notre Dame. Rex Pfluger's been the guy. You see it on both ends. You see Pfluger come up with the steal, knocking down the 3. Rex Pfluger.
Derek Collins and Dan Bonner on the call, and Brian Oliver was just mentioning those winning plays made by Rex Pfluger. He's done it so many times with dramatic plays, and he had the inbounds pass to Leshevsky against Toledo last Thursday. And that three-pointer that sent the game to overtime. And then ultimately Pfluger's free throws with a second left were the deciding points in the game.
I liken him to a Swiss Army knife because he does a little bit of everything for them.
And Toledo hit a three-quarter court three-pointer at the buzzer in that game, with the 2 free throws by Pfluger with a difference. He comes flying in on the offensive glass, trying to preserve the possession that is off of Gibbs, and the play made by Brandon Rush. With the photographer row on the baseline by Rush as he threw it off of Gibbs.
Nice play by Brandon Rush, recognizing that only way he could do is to bounce that ball off of T.J. Gibbs.
T.J. Gibbs, who had 4 assists in the first half, and that's now 302 for his career, so he goes by that benchmark in the first half. Three-pointer out of the corner is good. Saliba
coming in and giving him a shot in the arm. And again, we talked about Fairleigh Dickinson struggling in the first half. Seemed like they've been able to settle down, get some stops, and knock down some shots. You see when Notre Dame was going to pull away, cut into that lead.
Pfluger, little fall away, nifty.
He never seems like he's in a rush on both ends of the floor, making the right play.
So that Saliba shot on the previous possession for Fairleigh Dickinson being ruled a 2-point basket at this time. Saliba seeing his first action here in the second half. So straight away, scissor kick 3, no good from Malone Key. And now Pfluger. Entry to Mooney, tough catch, and as it bounces out of bounds, it will be Fairleigh Dickinson basketball. 6 turnovers in the game for the Irish. And Mooney 7 points and 9 boards. Those 7 points all in the first half for John Mooney. All 5 starters hit double figures on Sunday at Lafayette, but a loss by 5 for the Knights, taken away by Durham. Gibbs on the catch, trying to go back to Mooney, couldn't handle the pass. Rush on the move. Pfluger tied him up. So a foul against the Irish.
To be able to create for his teammates, and I think he's been able to come out and put his imprint on being able to create offense for everyone. When he's not knocking down threes, his ability to be able to play smooth under control, finishing off with the runner. Again, Tom, I said about his ability to be a Swiss Army knife. You see 8 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And I think that Mike Friends talked about how happy he is to have him, and now having him back on this ball club allows everyone else to settle back into their natural positions.
A guy with over 200 career assists, over 100 career steals. Those 8 points matching the 8 he scored in the game last week against Toledo in the overtime win, with Rush at the free throw line for Fairleigh Dickinson. Pfluger had a tip in the 2016 NCAA tournament in the second round to beat Stephen F. Austin, the team that Duke will play tonight. It was his only field goal of the game, but he's got a flair for the dramatic. And he's back from that knee injury a season ago that forced him to miss 23 games. Hub. Leszewski off the mark and offline. The rebound to Bishop.
Fairleigh Dickinson doing a good job of taking Notre Dame out of his sets. Tried to get the ball into John Mooney. Williams did a good job of being able to front him and deny him the ball.
Bishop right near the basket, has to bring it back out again as Notre Dame collapses defensively. Goodwin was trying to guard the baseline, but spilled Saliba. It's a second on Goodwin.
Fairleigh Dickinson doing a good job in the second half of being able to spread Notre Dame out, try to penetrate and kick. More success of being able to finish around the rim.
Rush trying to drop it off to Bishop, out of bounds, and Irish basketball.
Rush made the penetration. He committed. I don't know why he didn't shoot that. Sometimes you tell him, young players do not commit it unless you're going to shoot that or pass. Last time it seemed like a little indecisive.
Rush is the only Knight in double figures in scoring with 10. Gibbs has 11. He's the leading scorer for the Irish in this game. Irish don't play again until next Wednesday. That's at Maryland. The ACC Big Ten Challenge. Williams picks up the foul, his second. Coach Bray's team just 3-15 a season ago in ACC play. Much more lofty goals this year with a full complement of players. Goodwin forces it up and in over Saliba.
Goodwin's a hard-nosed player. Nice penetration for that mid-range jump shot.
That's 10 points for him, right on his average of 10.2 per season. 16 points in the win against Toledo for Goodwin. Mooney defending that shot. And the foul on the play will stay at this end of the floor. Leszewski picks up the foul for the Irish. First on Leszewski. Pfluger in, Hub out in the Irish lineup.
I got the hole.
Williams passed in a congested area and a second effort. That from Caleb Bishop for 2.
I thought that was set up by Williams' ability to be able to break down Mooney and get to the basket. It seems that whenever the Irish seem to break this open, on cue, you see Goodwin knocking down another three. Good setup by TJ Gibbs. You talked earlier about how they had a lot of difficulty last year, but Mike Bray's super excited about the ball club and the players he's got returning.
Williams in the paint, had to send it back out. Malone Key sets it up for the Knights. Shot clock is at 6. Saliba too strong, and to Pfluger. Ball went out of bounds, but a foul was called against Fairleigh Dickinson. Third on Williams. 10 threes made in the game now for the Irish. They are at 19.
Also in for the Knights, number 25,
and shooting 53% as a team. Rodriguez back in for the Knights. Williams to the bench.
Tom, when you look at the ACC and how competitive it is, one of the things that's really important is guard play. When you look at Gibbs, Pfluger, Goodwin, and also Huggs, that's a core of guys that can defend and score. And you see they've been able to put their imprint on this game, and not a huge night from John Mooney.
Pfluger. Durham, tough shot. Soft roll on the rim here at Purcell Pavilion for Jawan Durham, and 7 points.
If they can keep Durham healthy and get 10 points a game from him with his shot blocking ability, that takes Notre Dame to another level.
And the lead is now 17 for the Irish. Front rim.
I didn't like that shot. I thought that if you're Fairleigh Dickinson, you've been able to get into the teeth of the defense.
Pfluger driving and laying it in. Count the basket for Rex Pfluger. Into double digits with 10 points, Brian Oliver.
When you saw the move by Pfluger, being able to get to the basket, get down, the one-hand finish, go ahead and flex for him, Rex. Show me your muscles.
Secret handshake, too. 7-0 run, Irish.
Why don't we have a secret handshake? We should have a
secret
handshake.
You don't know about it because it's a secret. I'll let you in on it later. Pfluger couldn't finish the three-point play old school style. So the lead is back up to 19. Irish also led by as many as 19 in the first half as well. It was 21-2 at one point in the first half. Bishop with a turnaround. Pfluger with a rebound. Averages about 4 per game. Leschewski. Durham. Second chance, and he got fouled. Tangled up with Bishop underneath.
You see Notre Dame being able to finish around a basket, getting the ball inside the big fella. Durham, let the big fella eat. Notre Dame on a roll.
With 5 in the nation. ACC Big Ten Challenge. They'll follow that up with another conference game December 7th here against Boston College. Irish 0-1 in conference play. They played North Carolina on the road to start the season and lost 76-65. This is Durham at the free throw line. The senior from Tampa, Florida, transfer from UConn. He's got 4 blocks in the game. He's up to 80 for his career, and Notre Dame as a team, 7 blocks defensively against Fairleigh Dickinson. Malone Key in traffic past 3 defenders, and followed him from Bishop.
Nice finish by Bishop, and I thought that prior to that, Fairleigh Dickinson was having a problem with the Notre Dame zone. Early in the second half, I thought they did a good job of being able to break them down.
Bishop just a rebound away from a double-double. 10 points, 9 boards for the leading rebounder on the season for Fairleigh Dickinson as Leschewski misfires out of bounds and to the Knights.
You see the penetration, and then how about going upstairs? Bishop being able to finish. A lot of times you got to put a body on him. You see Bishop being able to get to the rim.
Tied his career high with 21 points in the losing effort Sunday at Lafayette. Also led the team with 6 rebounds. Tied a school record. 22 rebounds is his career high. That floater will drop for Williams.
How about Williams? He's a big guy, being able to put the ball on the floor. Nice little runner.
8 points now for Williams. Goodwin spinning and shooting. Durham tried to save it, and that is off for Fairleigh Dickinson and Rodriguez.
I like Goodwin's game. Just hard-nosed player, doesn't mind contact, handles the ball really well, knocks it down from outside, and can penetrate.
Leschewski with eyes for the rim. And he ran into Rodriguez. Now, Rodriguez received that flagrant 1 foul in the first half.
See Leschewski going to it. This is what you want from your 16. He's more of a perimeter guy, but you want to see him attack the basket and be able to finish.
Oh for 1 from the free throw line in the game for Leschewski. Make it 0 for 2, averaging 7 points and 6.2 rebounds per game for the sophomore from Jupiter, Florida. Played his prep ball at Northfield, Mount Hermon in Massachusetts. He's the reason that the Irish had a chance at a 5-game winning streak in the game against Toledo. Hit that 3 right before the buzzer in front of his own bench on this floor to send the game to overtime with the Irish won by 2. Their most recent game last Thursday. Knocked away and taken by Durham. The big player on the handles up the middle of the court.
Yeah, he realized he needed to get the ball over to his point guard.
Leschewski shed his defender. Durham turnaround with touch, but not enough, and the tip is good. Leschewski offensive glass.
Nice rebound by Leschewski, but I like the shot by Durham. That's one of the things. If they can give him the ball down low and allow him to be able to get those touches, definitely creates an opportunity because it forces the defense to have to collapse.
Leschewski with 8 points against Fairleigh Dickinson out of Hackensack, New Jersey. And the Northeast Conference wide open as Rodriguez and Williams found him.
Well, Williams has done a good job of being able to get into the paint. Face up, you look at him, you imagine that the way his body's built, you maybe put him on the post, but he's done a good job of being able to break Notre Dame defenders down and get to the cup.
Durham, step around. Williams was there defensively along with Bishop.
Nice foul on number 12, Caleb Bishop. His 3rd.
They're going to give the foul to Bishop and say it's his 3rd. And put Durham back at the free throw line. Durham providing some size on the interior as Mooney and Pfluger come in. Mooney has not scored in this half. 7 points and 10 rebounds for Mooney.
Well, again, I thought in the first half then they went to him, but then by them knocking down threes and being able to penetrate, I thought that the guard play didn't force them to have to go into Mooney. And then I thought also Fairleigh Dickinson did a good job of trying to limit the post touches.
So Durham strolls to the bench. 10 points for Durham into double digits and 9 rebounds. He's just a board away from a double-double. Exactly what he did against Presbyterian to get his 2nd career double-double in the absence of Mooney and a win in that game. He's on the bench right now. We're inside of 9 minutes to go in regulation. Malone Key hit the 3 with a defender right in his grill.
And he's shown that he can put the ball in the basket. Again, Malone Key keeping Fairleigh Dickinson into this game.
His 2nd made 3-pointer, Brian. 6 of 17 from 3-point territory for the Knights. This is Mooney trying to slip past the defender. Somehow got the ball back and found Leschewski. Score the bucket.
How about
Chance of the 3.
John Mooney not giving up on the play. He thought he was fouled, being able to come up and you see Leschewski finish at the basket. Talk about that length for Notre Dame, being able to have a live body like Leschewski. Good finish. So you see Mooney not giving up on the play. Nice dime, Leschewski with the finish.
So Bishop has to leave the game. That's his 4th personal foul. Okeke came in. Bonus situation for the Irish from here on out with 8:20 and counting to go in the second half. Led by 12 at halftime, 68-49. Tom Wormy along with Brian Oliver. Malone Key extending the range again. He does it with style points also, Brian.
Well, he's been able to keep them in the game with his shot-making ability. A big second half. Seems like right around when the Irish are about to step away, John Mooney comes with an answer. I think he's super dangerous right there at that free throw line, right there in the teeth of the zone.
9 points, 11 boards for Mooney. Already got 3 double-doubles on the season. Malone Key going for the heat check and coming up short. 18-point lead for the Irish. 7.5 minutes to go. Leszewski trying to slide in behind the defenders on that back line, and he lays it in, and a timeout on the court. Immediately, Leszewski with a layup.
How about Nate Leszewski being able to come up big for the Irish, finishing around the rim. Nate Leszewski's skill set on display. Big man coming up. One of the guys that's been big for them is Dane Goodwin. Coming into the game, being able to knock down threes. I thought that he came in and his shot-making ability early was able to give the Irish a shot in the arm. He's done it in a multitude of ways, being able to get to the basket. Talk about how much he can improve this game by knocking down shots. He's come up big for them tonight. 13 big points. And I think the fact that you see 3 for 3 from behind the arc, that 13 points, again, big for the Irish and his bench.
He made 4 three-pointers and had 16 points in the win against Toledo. Those 4 threes, a career high for threes in the game for Goodwin. 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Spinning in. Basket for the Knights. Just a moment ago, the Irish had their largest lead of the game at 20. As we go inside of 7 minutes, Mooney had it knocked away twice, but found Pfluger. Leszewski, catch and release. And it rims out. Mooney was tangled up underneath with Williams, and they might get Williams for the personal.
What makes Notre Dame so good is when you play against the zone, being able to put John Mooney right there in the middle, inside out, because his ability to be able to knock down the shot, penetrate and create. You basically, with Leszewski out there, 4 guys out and 1 big in.
Williams did not pick up the foul for Fairleigh Dickinson. It was Datica on the personal. Irish in the bonus, 6:50 to go. Had a 12-point halftime lead. Closest that the Knights have been tonight is 9. And that secures the double-double from Mooney with that first free throw. 13 boards and 10 points as the second one came up short. But the 4th double-double of the season for Mooney and the 25th of his career. Averaged a double-double a season ago with 14 points and 11 boards. He's right on those numbers again this year. Improving in rebounding, averaging 13 per game to lead the way in the conference. Hub misses. Malone Key skies for the board. Rodriguez against Mooney.
Nice finish by Rodriguez. And Fairleigh Dickinson, they have been able to get some really good points in this game. I think that Notre Dame has done a good job of being able to finish and put a lot of pressure on them.
Off balance shot from Mooney. Comes up empty. Irish trying to go 6-1 on the season. This is the last of a 5-game homestand for Notre Dame. As Brian mentioned, they'll take on Maryland next week. Inside of 10 seconds on the shot clock for Pfluger. Drew the double team, sent it back to Mooney.
How about the patience of Rex Pfluger, realizing shot clock down, calls for a pick and roll, understanding he's got a guy in John Mooney who's going to flare. Nice play by Pfluger, set up and finished by Mooney.
First attempt from 3-point real estate on the night for Mooney, and he comes through. knocking it down for his 6th three of the season. Goodwin running the floor and laying it in right up against the defender.
Like Brady said, he wants his guys to get out in transition, pass the ball ahead. Good pass ahead by Jogo and a finish by Goodwin.
Wrapped up to Jogo. He's got Hub. Will take it in with the left hand and lay it in. And now the Irish really pulling away. Williams, acrobatic shot, high off the glass and good.
Sometimes we've seen Williams and his ability to be able to break down and get to the cup. Nice finish.
6 different players for the Irish who've gotten double digits. 3 players for the Knights have hit double figures in scoring. Goodwin wraps it around to Mooney and is knocked away as he tried to go to the other side of the rim. Malone Key against 2 defenders. Tried to challenge Mooney and Pfluger. Foul called on
him being a double-double machine. And when he started out, I like the fact of how efficient he's been. A guy that has taken advantage of his touches, being able to crash the boards and finish around the rim. And he talked about it. He can score in a myriad of ways, being able to go inside and outside. His ability to be able to score around the basket, knocking down the 3. And it's been an efficient day, but they haven't had to go to him a lot because they've been able to knock down 3s. But again, definitely on display that he's the go-to guy for Mike Brady's squad.
52% from the floor for the Irish in the game, 48% from beyond the arc. And Mooney, who's on the bench right now, made his only 3-point attempt in this game. So he's got the double-double. He's got 4 on the season. Had 20 last year.
Well, the thing last year is that they had a depleted bench because of all the injuries, and it forced him to have a lot of different attention on the other end. But when you've got guys that can score in the perimeter, it's going to make his life a lot easier because defenses won't be able to plan for him.
Doherty missed in close. He's come into the lineup for the Irish. This is Carmody, had it knocked away by Williams, but a whistle stops play from Tim Clockerty. It's going to be the 4th on Williams. So Carmody at the line. 8 of 11 from the free throw and not Williams. So 3 for Williams and 2 for Danica. And the lead is 22. It's been as big as 24 for the Irish here in the second half. After Fairleigh Dickinson had closed the gap to just 12 at halftime in a turnaround from Rodriguez. Irish set the tone early in this one, Brian. 13-0 to start the game.
Well, and then we saw at the end of the first half that Fairleigh Dickinson was able to claw back in it. But I thought that Notre Dame's ability to be able to shift back into that zone second half created some issues. To see Williams with another finish. This Fairleigh Dickinson squad is definitely a very good team. This is a team, again, that we talked that they use this non-conference to prepare for the conference play. Just too much Notre Dame tonight.
They have a game coming up at Kentucky. They start their conference season in early January against St. Francis, Brooklyn. They beat St. Francis, Pennsylvania in the championship game of the Northeast Conference tournament a season ago, 85-76, to go to the NCAA tournament for the 6th time in school history. And 2nd time under Greg Herenda, head coach for Fairleigh Dickinson. Mike Brady told us, getting the looks, just need to knock down some of the shots, and they'll look at the numbers after this game, and it will be a big improvement for the Irish as they continue to build on this season, which started with a loss on the road at North Carolina. Don't forget, 9 Eastern, Stephen F. Austin against #1 Duke, Cameron Indoor Stadium, the undefeated Blue Devils.
To go back to your point, Tom, about Notre Dame and how well they shot the ball, I think when we talked with Mike Brady, he didn't seem too concerned about because how they move the ball. And you've seen that they've been able to share the basketball. 21 assists on the night. I think that he wants to make sure this ball club is well balanced because, again, he did go back to saying that he thought that this is his best defensive unit that he's had in some time. And when you got a defensive team that's holding people to 60 points a game, and then they're able to knock down, and then you got the inside presence, that's a good formula for success.
So Durham comes out of the game for the Irish. 12 points, 11 boards, and a double-double, Juwan Durham. And to further your point, Brian, 22 assists for the Irish, and that matches a season high. So all around, not a lot to find on the negative side of things for the Irish tonight. You know, it's wins like that against Toledo, where now the Irish have won 13 of their last 16 overtime games. You never know how those games may have a residual effect as you continue your season when you win a game in such dramatic fashion on your home floor.
Well, he did tell us also it was important for them to take care of their home. He said for their fan base, he said they want to make sure that they win these games. And again, that Toledo game was a huge win for them because of how they won it.
Leschewski right in front of his own bench for three.
And that's the guy that if he can get his confidence and start knocking down shots, he takes them to another level. Had been struggling as of late. A good sign if you're able to knock down those threes.
Leschewski, 16 points, 2 of 6 from three-point distance. Carmody picked up the foul at the other end for the Irish. They're going to improve to 6-1 on the season. And they've got time to rest up for that matchup coming up Wednesday at number 5 Maryland, part of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. They also play in the Crossroads Classic at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. They'll take on Indiana this year. That's a 2-game group between Notre Dame, Butler, Indiana, and Purdue. They played Purdue last year in that event. Doherty the jam. Morgan fed him. Elijah Morgan, what a pass. The Doherty for the rim bender and a 9-0 run for the Irish. To put the final stamp of approval on this one, Brian Oliver, with 47.8 seconds to go in the game. It was close late in the first half. Fairleigh Dickinson cut that lead to 9, but since that point in the early stages of the second half, it has been all Notre Dame in this one.
Hot shooting from Notre Dame, being able to finish and getting the stops. Good showing for the day. I think that they've been able to do some really good things. Mike Bray's got to be happy with the production from his guys.
I think he'll like 51% as a team from the floor as well. They shot just 31%, but still survived that game against Toledo last Thursday. And struggled on 8 of 35 from 3 for the Irish in that win against Toledo. Tonight they've made 12 three-pointers. And they're going to get their 6th win of the season. Finish off the homestand. And the final 10 seconds. Jogo's going to dribble it out for the Irish. 91-66 for Mike Bray and the Fighting Irish. That is win number 423 as the Irish coach the most in school history for Mike Bray. 91-66 Notre Dame. There is more to come from Purcell.